Hello, hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to day 21 of our self-love challenge. I can't believe it's already been 21 days. And at the beginning of this, I didn't even really know if I had enough knowledge to fill 21 days, and it's so incredible because I've found that I have a lot more. I honestly feel like I didn't even scratch the surface, but it's a really good starting point. It's a lot of good information in here, and it's my hope that some of it has touched you and you can take these challenges and incorporate them into your life. And then what I've really found, especially in the last year, is that it's these micro changes that create huge waves of difference in the greatest ways. For example, just taking 5 minutes in the morning before looking at what the world's doing and really tuning into myself has been life-changing. And so for today, I don't really have a specific topic, but what I want to cover is what I feel is the most important, like the things that you can do starting now, if you haven't already, that will transform your life in a matter of, maybe a month, maybe less. And so when we're talking about self-love, it's the ability to be kind to yourself, respect yourself, believe yourself, being honest with yourself. And all of those create this safety and belonging within yourself. And the biggest barrier that I came across, and it took me the longest to figure out, so my hope here is that by me going through that and telling you what I did to figure it out, maybe it cuts off, 11 months of the madness I went through trying to figure this part out. And what it is who are you? And I didn't know who I was. So it's really hard to love yourself if you're showing up not as yourself, masked, trying to keep the peace, trying to fit in, trying to survive, whatever it may be. You see, 2 years ago, whenever I really started diving into the self-love, like I said at the beginning, I knew what love was and what love wasn't. Love isn't jealous. Love is patience. Love is kindness. It's unconditional, right? So love I was good on that. But self, who was I? I didn't know who I was. I was doing all these things to make other people happy and to make other people feel comfortable. And I lost myself in that. Let's see, I was 39 2 years ago. I did not know who I was. And it took a while to be like, it's really paying attention in your body. When people ask you to do something, it's like yes or no. It's taking that time to figure out if it's a yes or a no. You know when it's a hard yes, when it's a hard no. But what about the times where it's like, oh, I kind of want to, but not really? Taking that time to figure out, is it something that you actually want to do? Is it how you want to spend your energy? And then you make that choice. You go, and maybe you enjoy yourself, maybe you don't. So even if you don't, you learn what you don't prefer. So really learning what you prefer, what you don't prefer. Learning what your values are. What are your values? What is right and wrong to you? And then not participating in the things that go against your values. And by not participating in things that go against your values, then you have more time and energy to spend on things that are aligned with your values. So really diving in and getting to know yourself, that was so key for me. And like I say, I had no idea what I liked, you know? So something you can do if you're in that is think about things that you used to like. What used to light you up when you were a kid, you know? And start dabbling in that. And really just like in any given moment, like, hey, what is it that I want to do? How do I want to spend my energy right now? It may be laying down and taking a nap. It may be watching YouTube videos to get more knowledge, you know? And sometimes society deems these things as not productive. But if it's what you're excited about and it's your passion, or it's what you really know you need to do in this moment, learning to lean into that and listen to that regardless of any external noise. Not everybody's going to understand, especially when you've been operating for so long, masked, you know, doing things that you may not necessarily have wanted to do, and then, you know, you're enjoying it. People may not understand, and that's okay. They will eventually come around, or they won't, and that, like, it's fine. So really, you know, you could like pretend like you're getting to know somebody like on a date or something, like, but do it with yourself. What do you enjoy doing? You know, I learned that I was spending like so much time at baseball fields, and I love that my boys love baseball. But for me, I don't share that passion. I'm passionate about watching them do what they love. However, for me, I really prefer to be by the water. So making that shift and, you know, missing some games and going to the water has like brought this aliveness back up in me. I love music. So anything that's outdoors and there's music involved, like, sign me up. I will enjoy myself, you know? And I like to create music. I like to write. But I didn't know, I mean, I kind of knew these things about myself. And while I was at the baseball games, you know, being the mom that is always there, like, there was a part of me wanting to be at the water. And you know, it's funny, I used to joke all the time that they need to put a lazy river around the baseball field, and in that way I could be near the water and be doing the baseball all at the same time. But they haven't listened yet, so maybe that's coming in the future. But yeah, like, really knowing yourself and aligning your life with that. You know, you don't have to do everything. You can do the things that are good for you, and let other people do the things that are good for them, and then come back and discuss it or whatever. You know, like, it's totally okay. And this kind of ties into like my codependency. Masking to feel safe, masking to feel approved and accepted, you know, changing who you are so that you fit in is like all kind of tied into codependency. And I was really deep into that, and that, I believe, is like a lack of internal safety, which comes from not being honest with yourself, not being kind to yourself, and not respecting yourself, not listening to your emotions when they come up. You're just like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I feel kind of safe because I have this external thing that's, making me feel safer. But really, you still don't, especially if that external thing goes away. You don't have the freedom to go and do the things that you want to do when you feel like you're not safe without somebody else. So that all kind of ties in together. So learning who you are and really spending some time there, and also allowing for it to be different. One day you may have a lot of energy and want to go do all these things, and then another day you may be like a couch potato, and that's okay. We don't have to be the same. You're allowed to be whoever you are in any given moment. And really, really leaning into that. One of the things I heard that shifted things for me a little while back was every second, you have an opportunity to be a new you. Every second. And I used to get a lot of flack because I do show up differently. And so people expect consistency, but we're just not, at least I'm not that way. Like, I am who I am, and that is enough. Every second, you have an opportunity to be a new you. Any moment, every moment is a choice. So something else that I really wanted to touch on too is that whenever I was little, whenever I was in high school, like, I've just always been really drawn to like the hippie culture, like peace, love, happiness, love and light, rainbows and butterflies, utopias, right? Like, this is who I am. And then life happened. I went through betrayal. I went through loss. I went through grief. I totally blew up my life. And alcohol demons, like, all these things that aren't love and light, the shadows, the darkness. And for a while in that, I was still trying to project this love and light without addressing the dark, bypassing it, shoving it away, And what I've really learned is that this wholeness that we all crave, that void, that emptiness inside that we try and fill with all these things, maybe relationships, shopping, drugs, alcohol, scrolling, that void we're trying to fill is that darkness, that we condemn, we say is bad. We've all got it. Everybody goes through it, and it's part of us. And really what I've learned with this is it's not all about love and light, and it's not all peace and happiness and rainbows. Sometimes there are thunderstorms, and they can be beautiful and powerful as well. Even though it's not a rainbow and a butterfly, it's this destructive power, and out of destruction comes creation. Really sitting in that and bringing that love and compassion to the betrayals and to the loss. You know, I think about losing my mom and dad, and like the sadness, the grief, and really just loving that, because that feeling wouldn't be there without the love. Like, if I didn't love them, then I wouldn't be sad, you know? I wouldn't care. So really what that sadness and that grief and that excruciating emptiness is this love inside of me with nowhere to go, because they're not physically here anymore. So really sitting with that and understanding that these emotions inside of me are there because I was blessed with so much love. And just sitting there with that myself, with that love, it transforms that kind of uncomfortable, what is it? It's like such a longing to reconnect with them physically, you know? Like, what would you do for another hug sort of feeling, to talk to them on the phone one more time. It changes that longing into this like just overflowing love and gratitude of all the times that we did have, and gratitude for the love that's there. Like, that sadness really is love. And when you sit with it, when I sit with it and really just allow it, it's like, it starts out dark, you know, because it's sadness, it's loss, it's longing. But whenever I sit there with that love for it and respect and admiration and listen to what it's trying to tell me, it's like shining that light, wrapping it in love and compassion. And that's the key. That's the alchemy. Like, we all have these shadows. We all have this darkness. We all have this destructive force. And when we bring our awareness to it and sit with it with love and compassion, no judgment, no shame, and really listen to it, respect it, validate it, that is where the magic happens. That's where it transforms from the shadow to like love. And it's a daily process for me. And that is going to be the challenge that I recommend the most. And if you take nothing else from this 21 days, doing this challenge, which is basically the meditation. So if you need assistance in doing this, you can always bring up that meditation. I did do it live on here, so if it goes away, you can find it on my YouTube channel too. But when you feel that sensation in your body and you automatically want to resist it by going online and buying something, grabbing a drink, scrolling. These are all ways that we kind of avoid the sensation. Instead of doing that, take a breath. Notice the sensation in your body. Name it, name where it's at. Give it the character. Make it into a character. You know, discuss that with yourself. What is this character? What does it want to say? What does it want to do? How is it? Sitting there with it, no judgment, just compassion and love, listening to it, and then asking it what it needs. And then giving yourself that need. I believe you. I am here. I've got you. You are safe. I love you. Letting that fill your body, that need. I do belong. I understand you. That is the void you're trying to fill. We reach outside to be accepted and validated. And it's never enough. It's never enough. It's not really them that we want the validation from. It's not really them that can fulfill the need. It's us. We have that power. And this is so powerful. Like I say, I learned this little trick back in February. And since I started doing it, and at first I had to do it like all the time. It was like, oh my gosh, is this ever going to, like, am I ever going to get these things worked out, you know? But now it's like maybe once or twice a day, and sometimes not at all. But really doing this, I was waking up every morning with dread. And it didn't matter if I had a whole list of things to do, or if the only thing on my list was like, hey, do whatever you want to do, or rest all day. Like, I would still feel dread. It didn't matter. It didn't matter what. And the more I look at it, and the more I think about it, the dread was coming because I wasn't showing up for myself. And I was letting myself feel the feelings, and I was letting the feeling be there, but I wasn't getting to the point where I was identifying the unmet need. And I didn't realize that just like telling myself that I believe me, even though somebody else may not, and I understand me, even though I may not be understood by whoever, even though I'm feeling misunderstood by this person, I still understand. Like, I believe in me, and it's because I know who I am. I know my values now, and I know that if something doesn't align with that I can disagree or not, go along with it. And yes, that may create disappointment, misunderstandings, whatever. But it doesn't matter if they don't understand me, because I understand me. And that's the thing. I was giving my power away to anything and everyone instead of, really believing in me. And after 40 years of doing that, like, I think my soul was like, I don't want to be awake, because I know you're going to abandon me. I was abandoning myself in these moments, And so then my soul didn't really want to show up anymore. It's like, oh gosh, another day of, shoving my needs down, like not understanding myself, not believing in myself, not giving myself love and expecting it to come from outside. It had me waking up with dread every day. And back when I was working, it was the same. And I thought it was the job. And then I didn't work at the job. And I still had it. I still had it every single day. And it makes it incredibly hard to get things done. And the way I was doing things was with dread, with contempt. Oh, I gotta do this again. And now it's like, I'm excited to do things. And if I'm not, then I don't do them. And then whenever it comes about, I do. And it all works out. And I don't have this dread anymore. And it went away like 2 days into doing this. So if you are feeling that void and reaching out for things to fill it, I highly recommend just whenever you feel that pull to reach, notice the sensation in your body and know that it's just these chemicals, it's energy moving, it's going to pass. And like, you can learn something from it. You learn what your need is and you can give it to yourself. You can learn how to do that. And then by doing that, you just have this sense of belonging and like you just are. And it doesn't matter what anybody else says. Like, you no longer need resilience because they're allowed to be disappointed. And you can carry on because you believe in yourself. You know? You understand yourself. You love yourself. You're kind to yourself and you're honest to yourself. And you know that other people may or may not be there, and that's okay. Maybe what you disagreed on will help eventually. Who knows? But it's just, it's life-changing to not wake up and dread every day. It's life-changing to not need all these external vices to feel okay and to have the power to do that yourself. And then the feeling, you just feel stronger and wiser. Like, you know who you are. You know what you're doing. You know why. And when other people don't see it, it's okay. Like, it's okay. Learning to sit in their disappointment, learning to accept that they're disappointed, allowing them to be, that'll probably be our next challenge. But yeah, that's the challenge today, is when you feel that sensation that has you reaching for something external to soothe it, instead of depending on that external thing, take 3 minutes, breathe, validate yourself. I feel this way. It is here. It makes sense, right? Validate it, let it be there, let it expand, give it the character, give it a name. That kind of separates it from you, because remember, we are not our emotions. We are not these sensations. The sensations are happening in our body as a message, not to torture us, but to free us, to liberate us. So you get in there, give it that love and give it that compassion. Find out, what is it? What is it that you need from me right now? And then give that to yourself. Fill your whole body with it. That's all you really want. I'm telling you. I'm so grateful for this experience. I'm grateful for everyone who has watched. I am grateful for my journey, and I'm grateful for you all being on this journey with me. And I'll be back. I love you guys.